Hello, everybody. I hope that you're doing great. Today's lesson is gonna be a poem, and it's called "To Lucasta Going on the Wars" by Richard Lovelace. He was born 1618 and died 1657. Actually, he lived like 39 years. To talk about Mr. Richard Lovelace, we need to know that he was from a wealthy family and he was a supporter to the King of England at that time, Charles I. The kingdom at that time was about to plunge into civil war, which resulted in um, Lovelace imprisonment twice. So he was so loyal to the king, and he wrote this just to support the king in his issues with the parliament, as it was an internal war between the king from one side and the parliament members from the other side. And also, there was an external war between England and Spain at that time. So there was a money shortage. As a loyal supporter to Charles, as I mentioned, he wrote to Lucasta on going to the wars as a statement of the principle that honor and loyalty to one's king must come before other considerations. To Lucasta going to the wars, summary of this poem. In short, this is a very brief poem that Lovelace wrote about a man saying goodbye to his lover before heading to war. He pleads for his lover to understand why he must leave the safe and sweet comfort of her presence, begging her not to think him unkind for going away. While he admits that he very much loves his mistress, he admits that he loves war even more and he willingly flies to the battlefield. This is a lyric poem. What does it mean? Features of lyric poems, they are short and musical. So the lyric poem is a short musical poem. They are different from narrative poems that tell stories with beginning, middles, and ends. So lyric poem is not a story. It doesn't have a beginning, nor a middle, nor an end. It's just a poem in which a single speaker presents a state of mind and expresses thoughts and feelings. So all these features are applicable on our poem today. Now move on to the text. As you can see here, my dear students, we have just the three stanzas. It's very short, very easy. We may face some of the archaic words which are not usable nowadays, of course, because they relate to Old English, but I'm here to explain for you, don't worry. Let's start with the first stanza. Tell me not, sweet, I'm unkind, that from the nunnery of thee chaste breast and the quiet mind to war and arms I fly. True a new mistress now I chase, the first foe in the field, and with a stronger faith embrace a sword, a horse, a shield. Yet this inconstancy is such as you shall adore. I couldn't love thee, dear, so much, loved I not honor more. The paraphrasing of the poem itself, the first stanza. Tell me not, sweet, I'm unkind, that from the nunnery of thee chaste breast and quiet mind to war and arms I fly. Here, Lovelace, this is the name of the poet, don't forget, pleads with her, telling her not to think poorly of him after he leaves the peacefulness that surrounds her and flies off into the brutal and violent world of war. Lovelace's addiction, or diction, the choice of words, I mean, is also notable here, particularly with his use of the word nunnery, yeah, which is a religious term for the community in which nuns live. Lovelace probably uses the word here to describe how devoted he and his lover are even though he later leaves her to go to war. Through a new mistress now I chase, the first foe in the field, and with a stronger faith embrace a sword, a horse, a shield. Here, the second stanza takes on a different tone than the first. In this stanza, Lovelace admits that he is devoted to someone else. He tells her that he has taken a new lover, which is the first enemy he sees on the battleground. He will chase this enemy down, and because of his obligation as a soldier, he embraces his sword, shield, and horse with even greater faith than he did his lover for her. Again, Lovelace draws attention to religion with his use of the word faith, showing his lover and his reader that the religion he now worships is not the woman he has left behind. The speaker now worships war. Lovelace uses alliteration in the line 6 of the poem, repeating the F sound or the F sound in the neighboring words. Lovelace probably implemented this to put an emphasis on how eager the speaker is to get the battlefield. If we're gonna go for this line, the second line of the second stanza, we can find the F sound first, faux, filled, which is alliteration. Of course, as you still remember, the function of alliteration is to give a musical tone or musical a rhythm to the line. For the third stanza and the last one, yet this inconstancy is such as you two shall adore. I couldn't love thee, dear, so much loved I not honor more. He tells his lover that once she realizes why he is leaving her, she will love and respect his decision. He then leaves her with this bombshell, which is he tells her that he couldn't love her as much as he did if he didn't love the glorious of war more. So here it's a kind of a shock to the beloved, of course, because now he's expressing himself in a different way, saying that without this kind of love to war and the glory of war, I want to be able to love you. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, because of his loyalty to the king, he now proves it at the end of the poem with this last stanza that he's doing that because duty and loyalty come first as a first priority to this poet. For the concept vocabulary here, we have words like embrace to hold in one's hand, nunnery, a place where nuns live, inconstancy, disloyalty, adore, to love, foe, and enemy. These are the new unfamiliar words, and of course, we can reach them directly also through the context clues, the words that are surrounding the unfamiliar word that we are looking up for. For the figures of speech, we have here the alliteration. Line 5, you, now, na, na. The na sound, of course, the consonant sound at the beginning of words on the same line. Also, we do have this line in line 6. We mentioned this. First, faux, field, fa, fa, fa. The fa sound also, same consonant sound. And line 10, inconstancy is such. So we have here sa sound, and sa sound too. So the sa sound here repeated in line 10 to announce another alliteration. Then number 2, the second figure of speech, which is the anaphora. Anaphora, one of the figures of speech, which is repetition of letters, words, expression for confirmation, for more confirmation. Like here, a sword, a horse, a shield. He wants here to confirm that his faith pushed him forward and give him the motivation to hold in his hand a sword, a horse, and a shield, just to mention and declare that war is coming, and he is in favor with this war rather than his own beloved. The last figure of speech is the metaphor. We have it here on lines 2 and 3. Young woman's body and mind is compared to the peace and serenity of a nunnery. This, of course, implied a metaphor. Line 5 and 6, comparing the enemy to a mistress. Also, this is another metaphor. This is the end of the figure of speech in lines 11 and 12. Implied comparison of honor to a beloved woman. Of course, you can revisit back the text and see yourself and judge yourself these kind of figures of speech, the alliteration with its examples, the anaphora with its examples, and metaphor with its examples too. This was the end of our presentation today. I do appreciate your attention, listening, and watching. Thank you very much. Have a great school day. Bye bye.